Hi guys, it's Margie from Margelous Creations here, and some of you guys have purchased my pattern for the cute ponies and are having trouble with doing the eyes. So in this video I will be showing you guys how to make these cute little eyes for some cute ponies. So to start off with, I am using my G-hook, and any worsted weight yarn will work fine for you. Most of the yarn I'm using is Red Heart Comfort, and some of the smaller stuff is the Bernat Baby Soft. So to start off with, we're going to do a quick ring. I call them quick rings. Some people call them magic rings, magic circles. And so then we'll single crochet 6 into the center. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the thing I really love about using the quick rings is you can pull them tight. You get a really nice tight center. Like you can barely see that, and I haven't even pulled it completely tight yet. I usually do that after I slip stitch into the first chain there. Okay, and then you pull it tight. And then for the second row, we're going to just chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. Now I personally like working over my tail of my work. As you can see, that's what I'm doing. I've just got it there and going over it. I find it's quicker than stitching in ends at the end, because I hate weaving in ends. Especially on something like this, a project like this, where you're doing multiple colors and switching a lot of yarns, so you're going to have a lot of tail work. So if you don't have to stitch them down and you can just work over them, that's what I do. Okay, I've lost count here. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm actually going to snip my tail because it's sticking out there. And then I'm going to just join with a slip stitch. Now I'll be switching to the color of the iris. So you can use whatever color you'd like. So if you want purple eyes, pink eyes, brown, blue, green, whatever color you're wanting. So I'm using this, it's an extra ball of yarn I've got. It's a really nice turquoisey aqua color, and it is a little thinner like the Bernat Satin or Baby Soft. Okay. And now I'm just going to crochet 9 single crochet around the edges of the black there. Now if you're wanting to do have really surprised eyes, like so they're wide and excited eyes, you can just go ahead and single crochet in each stitch around the black part of the eye, because then that'll give you the wide look. And then when you switch to the white, you just continue on with the white where we would be working it with this eye. And so you can see again, I'm crocheting over my tail here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this 8 stitch, I'm going to trim my tails that are under there, under my work, just so they're not sticking out funny. And then I'm going to do the 9th stitch here. I mean, you don't have to use these eyes for the ponies. You can use them for whatever you happen to be making. so I'm going to use the worsted weight white now. So if you don't like just leaving your tails like that, you can always, so this is the right side of your work, right? You can always tie a knot at the back of your work because the eyes do have a specific direction. So you can just do a couple of knots there if you want, just to give it a little more security. But I've never had any eyes actually fall apart on me. Okay, so I'm going to chain one, and then I'm actually going to turn my work, and I'm going to work back over top of the eye color. So I'm just going to do one single crochet in the first stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochet in every one around. If you find that the white looks weird or it's off or whatever, you don't have to do 2 around. You can do 2 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1 if you'd prefer to do it that way. I switch it up depending on what I'm doing it for. So I'm actually making these eyes right now for one of my scarves. I'm making a pony scarf, and I'm working on writing up the pattern for that, so you guys will have that right away. And I'm talking instead of focusing on my crocheting, so I'm messing up. But that's okay. Okay, so you can see there we're getting close to being done that. And so like I said, if you're doing the solid eye, like a big wide eye, you'd still do the same amount of single crochets for your whites. But in the last stitch, so I'll do my 2 stitches here, and then in the last stitch I'm only going to do 1. So see, I'm just going to do 1 here, and there we go. So this is the back of the eye, and you can see because that the V's that's making, and that's the front of my eye because we've got a nice solid color. So if you were using a worsted weight yarn for the color, it will be a bit bigger. It'll look a little bit better. So then I would leave a really long tail for stitching down because I need really long tails. Okay, so now we're going to go into doing the iris, so, or the iris, the lashes. Okay, so make sure your work is facing you the correct direction. So like I said, this is the front, that's the back. So there's the front. I'm going to take a really fine yarn actually for doing my eyelashes and my line. And so this is what I'd picked up. As you can see, I've actually, it lasts a really long time. I don't know how many I've actually done with these, but I've done lots. And so I'm just going to make a slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm actually going to slip the slip stitch off of my hook, and I'm going to attach it at this end of the correct side, of the right side of my yarn. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this eye. I've already got the other eye made up, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing this eye. So I'm attaching it right here, and I'm going to be doing the eyelash right away. I'm actually doing this eye, actually. I'm doing these eyes. So I'm going to have 5 lashes coming off of there. So I did my slip stitch there, and then I'm just going to do a single crochet here. And then I'm going to, so instead of just continuing on, I'm going to make this loop really big. Okay, so I've got it up to my knuckle there. You see that? And then I'm just going to twist it about 10 times. Okay, and then I'm going to go back through just the first loop of that single crochet. Do you see that? And then I'm going to do a slip stitch with that. Okay, there we go. So there's the first one, and then I'm going to do another single crochet in the same stitch. Because we're using a thinner yarn, so we do need to do two stitches in each thing. So we did a single crochet. Now I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch over there. And I'm going to make another lash because I'm doing 5 lashes. So if you're just doing 3 lashes, you'd skip this one, you'd do the next one, and then you'd skip this one and you do this one. So, nope. It's very easy to lose it there. Okay, so then if you're doing a half double crochet, I slip through 2 stitches there. And then you do another half double crochet there. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing a half double in that stitch. And another eyelash, pull it out to there. So slip it through. And then do another half double. Okay, and so I just have to show you guys. So while I'm doing this, I'm still pulling my tail across the back here. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to doing single crochet. So I'm going to do a single crochet here and do another eyelash. So that's 1, 2. See, this one looks funny. That's still 3. So if it looks weird, you can put your hook through it, stretch it out, and let it turn by itself. And see, no, it still wanted to go funny. And you can kind of manipulate where you want it to go. So I'm going to go through afterwards and fix all those up. So this will be number 4 eyelash. And then in through the first stitch of the single crochet, and then slip stitch it through. And then do another single crochet. And then this will be my last eyelash, and you'll see it's at the very top of the black there. Okay, so single crochet, pull it out wide. So you can add however many eyelashes you want, or only do a couple. It depends on whatever look that you're going for your creation. Okay, so then single crochet. So now I'm done with the amount of eyelashes I want on there. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do another couple single, so I'm still doing 2 single crochet in each stitch. So 2, 1, 2, and then in this one, I'm going to do 1 single crochet, because you can see it's starting to join to the iris, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 half doubles in this spot here. Okay, so that was 2 half double crochets in this one, 1 single crochet, and then I did a slip stitch to this spot here, and then I'm just going to pull that out. I trimmed my work. Okay, so now you would do the exact same thing at the bottom. See, this is my other eye over here. So right here you'd attach your yarn and you do the same thing that we did here with the loops, right? And so we've got a couple that are looking weird. So you can just kind of manually adjust them into how you want them to be shaped. See? Okay. So they're looking pretty good there. Okay. And then you do your 3 eyelashes on the bottom there. And then when I'm stitching it down, I would stitch my white down here, and then I'm going to bring it around and stitch it like that, so it kind of separates the eyelash a little bit. Okay, and then you can see I've got this one completely finished. So for this, I used the smaller yarn, the Bernat yarn, and I just did a quick wing with 6 single crochet in it, and then I stitched it down, and then I added the extra little eye piece there. And then so as I stitch them down on my work, I'm going to use the white and stitch it down, and then I'm going to use the black string, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to stitch each thing down, and I'm going to go in between each of the little twists to stitch them down. Yeah, so you can do as many eyelashes as you want. You don't have to use these, don't have to have a bottom eyelash. Do whatever combination you'd like. I'd like to see what you guys come up with the eye pattern that we've got here, and let me know how it works out for you. I hope this tutorial worked pretty well for you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.